Ladies and gentlemen, we are on Infosode 5. We're going to be going over the tragic story in DC with the plane crash. So, we are on Be Well Informed, as usual. I'm sure you all are very well informed, but we're going to jump right into it. After about 15 seconds or less break, we're going to jump right into it and get started. And as explained, people, we're going to be going over the plane crash that happened in DC. I'm sure you're all aware, as just explained. So we're going to be integrating or reintegrating the Be Well Informed data gathering info tracking platform for the agents of info. Of course, we're going to be improving on it as time goes on. But as usual, we're going to be discussing one of the videos that will be today, just one video, and the other things we go over will be a couple articles going over that particular plane crash. So with that being said, the video that we will be going over is a ABS CBN news story with aviation experts giving their giving statements about the plane crash and what they believe or whatnot. So, and I haven't seen it yet, so we'll see what he has to say. But that being said, we're going to head over to the Be Well Informed platform. You all will be able to also view this platform and check it out and look it out for yourselves. So without further ado, let's get that up. All right. So uh, you can actually go view this website at bewellin.com /infosode 5_0 for this particular infosode. I hope you all can see the screen real good. Let me see actually if we can. Yes, we can see it. Um, so we're just going to take a look. So the DC plane crash. We do have reports of safety concerns, so we're going to check out this story first. I already have it open here. All right, so again, you'll be able to follow along in these stories. Just go to Be Well Informed, go to the particular Infosode. Now, not every Infosode video will actually have an Infosode uh, data tracking page. They're kind of just as we go along, and there's a numbering code to this in particular number here is the actual use case behind that numbering um, output, how it looks. We'll go over that in a future video. So, DC Airport had been plagued by safety concerns ahead of deadly crash. Pilots, lawmakers, and aviation experts have been sounding the alarm about Ronald Reagan National Airport for a while. This is by Lydia O'Connor from HuffPost. Anyways, so let's read a few of these. The airport where a passenger jet was set to land before it collided with a military helicopter Wednesday night has long grappled with safety issues, according to aviation experts and media reports. American Eagle Flight 5342 crashed into an Army Black Hawk helicopter in midair near Ronald Reagan National Airport, DCA, in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday. And it has been confirmed, people, that all 67 aboard have been killed. And but even before the disaster, several past safety incidents had occurred at the airport, and lawmakers and members of the aviation industry warned that it was only a matter of time before something catastrophic unfolded there. Man, um, yeah, it's so yeah, that's not good, folks. That is not good at all. But as usual, and Be Well Informed, we're just going over the stories, putting in info out there, gathering the data, and we're going from there, folks. Now, sometimes with these stories, I won't read every single line. I may kind of just go over them and try to get the info out of it. Anyways, according to air traffic control data obtained by the Washington Post, a similar incident almost unfolded at the airport just 24 hours earlier, per that data. The Post reported a Republic Airways flight jet trying to land at DCA had to make a second approach when a helicopter appeared near its flight path. Ah, that is not um, that is not something good to hear for an incident like this. Literally the day before happened, only for it to happen again and not have at least the same results as the day before. Because in this case, we all see what happened. A CNN review of federal incident reports found that at least two other pilots have reported near misses with helicopters while landing at DCA. And according to the New York Times, an internal Federal Aviation Administration report suggests that the air traffic controller on duty at DCA the night of the collision was doing a job typically handled by two people. David Sauchi, or Suchi, I'm not sure how to say the last name. I don't think I've ever seen a name uh, small. It's not long. It's just interesting. A retired safety inspector with the FAA wrote in an opinion piece for MSNBC on Thursday that he dreaded inspecting flights at DCA because it hosts many different types of operations within a tight airspace. The airspace is both complicated and crowded as an increasingly high volume of passenger planes share the air and communications frequencies with military aircraft, VIP flights, White House transportation, and drones flying clandestine operations, he wrote. Retired Delta pilot Alan Campbell told USA Today that DCA is on the most difficult airports for pilots to navigate. It's one of the most. You don't want to be the rookie on your first flight landing there, said Campbell, who is also a retired Air Force Lieutenant Colonel. That airport ride along the river is one of the most challenging. The intense focus required to land at DCA can keep pilots from spotting other aircraft in the surroundings, he continued. So, oh man, that's a really important line right here, folks, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you all notice it, but here at Be Well Informed, even lines like this are very important. It may not seem like much, but we'll dig into it later. Let's continue, folks. Let's continue. And as you see with Be Well Informed, we're going to take a quick break. Here you see we have quick keys. Gathered information from story, theories, opinions about stories, random info related, connected to story. Now, I've only actually done one actual other Infosode, Agents of Info page, and that was like the first video I've done here. The other videos I've done, I haven't done an Infosode thing yet. But you come down, I have the stories. I have multiple stories sometimes, not just one particular story. But this one I believe deserves its own story page. So, so each one of these is a link to another article or some other source of information. And then at the end, I give, I don't have nothing in either one of these yet. But this one is theories. This one is related stories or whatnot. And then I have updates here that you can look at for any updates I give to that story later in the future, which these numbers here will have a play in. But anyways, yeah, so we'll give updates in that, theories and things of nature in that part. But here's, I believe, is an important focus to look at for later. They don't have time to be looking out the side window for a black helicopter, he said. And we're talking about a black helicopter at night. It's very difficult to see, and that's by design. A bill last year added 10 additional daily flights from the airport. Senator Tim Kaine was among the lawmakers who raised concern about the added flights at DCA, pointing to an incident last May in which two planes nearly collided on one of the airport's runways. I think I remember this story. I might not be the same incident. Might have been not even the same state. Well, the one I'm thinking of. But I remember there was a near plane crash last year, I believe. That was a pretty big story. Might have been what he's talking about here. We're almost coming towards the end, folks. Thank God a collision and catastrophe were averted, Kane said at the time. But more and more planes on its busiest runway in the United States is just going to increase the chance of a significant incident. Kane spoke with NPR again Thursday morning to reflect on his past warnings in light of the crash. A number of us have been sounding the alarm about congestion for some time, he said, of course. He said of DCA's flight schedule. Nothing to the airport was designed to handle about 15 million passengers a year, but is now well in excess of 20 million a year. Oh my gosh. That's a lot. That is a lot. So that's it for that story, folks. Again, that story will be in the Infosode. We're going to go to the next story. And again, that story was from the HuffPost from Lydia O'Connor. That one was posted, actually, yesterday, January 30th. And the next one is from CNN. All right. You know what? I'm going to see if they do have videos in these. I don't know if I can. Let me see if I got it set up for audio. No, I do not. So we will not play those. Maybe in an update if but I believe that's just the same stuff that's in these reports. So we're probably just going to skim over it. What does this headline say? Pilots had reported near misses with helicopters at Reagan National Airport in the years before the deadly crash. And this is by multiple journalists, by Casey Tolan, Majili D. Poykamp, Kurt Devine, Haley Britsky, and Oren Lieberman from CNN. In the 3 years before the deadly collision between an Army helicopter and an American Airlines flight near Reagan National Airport, at least 2 other pilots reported near misses with helicopters while landing at the airport, as seen in a review of the federal incident reports found. So going to the last story, remember we heard that there was near miss just the day before. Was it a day before? I believe. So anyways, on 2 occasions, passenger planes had to take evasive action to avoid colliding with the helicopter when trying to land at the airport. According to reports filed by pilots in a 3rd incident, 2 military helicopters got too close together, and air traffic controller reported. And just the day before the fatal collision, and this is what we're just referring to, another flight approaching Reagan was forced to abort its first landing and go around after a helicopter flew near its flight path, according to air traffic control audio. Man. Right now I'm just kind of skimming through right now. Yes, and right here it says, those previous scares are sure to gain more attention after the disaster of the Potomac River on the Wednesday night, which is presumed to have killed 64 people. We know now that 67. As the search and recovery operation continues, authorities try to figure out exactly what went wrong. Of course, at the time of collision. Yep. Here's the reporting of the controllers seeing both helicopters and planes, meaning usually they're held by 2 people, but they only had 1. The Federal Aviation Administration found that the staffing at the airport traffic control was not normal for the time of day and volume of traffic. The New York Times reported Thursday that corresponds with an issue highlighted in one of the previous miss reports from 2022, in which a controller said that there wasn't enough staffing at the airport tower. It just said that Washington region is airspace. Yes, complex. Last story said that. In recent years, reports of airport flights, yes, heated. Now the deadly, yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, and they're discussing here the near plane misses, the helicopters, detailed with reports and records in the database, that they've been saving over the years. some that have been filed anonymously and not identifying airlines or flights. It looks like so. The previous near misses between planes and helicopters at DC airport were detailed in NASA's Aviation Safety Reporting System database, which records incidents reported by aviation personnel. The reports are filed anonymously and don't identify specific airlines or flights. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a database we're going to be clicking on. Let's see what we got. We're just going to a quick look at it, see what we can pull up. So, ladies and gentlemen, we done found some good info. It looks like, and you know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. We gotta sound the alarm, ladies and gentlemen. Sound the alarm, people. We got a database. We don't know what it is yet, but we're gonna see. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got some database. We're gonna see what kind of information we can gather. I love the databases, people. Agents of info. We always like information that we can get. So we might not do much or anything with this at all, but just knowing that we have this, I will be going through this and looking to see what possible data is in here. Not for this particular video. We might do a video and just play around with this particular, looks like a safety reporting system. So this is interesting here. We'll probably do a whole Infosode and just play with this database. Just a little sandbox play. We'll think of some name for it. But anyways, we're not going to spend too much time. Let's see if we can click on something real quick. Let's start a search. Let's see. Can y'all see this? Again, ladies and gentlemen, I'll have a link to this on the Be Well Informed Infosode for this particular Infosode. And this looks like it's taken on. Okay, here we go. Report number. So I'm sure. Okay, so it looks like we can do some good stuff with this. Some good stuff with this, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Okay, so we'll definitely come back to that. So it's okay. It seems like they've definitely been having some issues when people are reporting anonymously. Yeah, it's a serious issue. Yeah. This tells me a few things, and this is important right here as well. Actually, this is actually pretty important. Yeah. So, and more so, yeah. So let's go. In April 2024, a commercial passenger plane pilot wrote that while descending to DCA, the crew received a traffic alert and collision avoidance system alert showing a helicopter about 300 feet below us. The crew took evasive action according to the report and then was able to land normally after passing above the helicopter. We never received the warning of traffic from air traffic control, so we were unaware it was there. The pilot wrote suggesting that there should be a better separation for DCA traffic on the river visual to the helicopter traffic that is flying up and down the river. Man, this is actually kind of horrible. This is some good info I'm getting from the CNN report here. They're going into more details of some of these issues they've been having over the years, and man, usually in any work you're at, if you mess up, usually you're back on your cues. You're back on it. You're focused more. You don't want to mess up again. But man, it seems like they're not even caring when they mess up. These are some serious mess ups. That's all I gotta say. And not caring really. It looks like some, I don't know if you call it derelict of duty or, yeah. This is like some. Let's just continue, folks. Remember, this is Be Well Informed. Just get the info. Upon review, the approach path and other information, we estimate we came within 3. Yeah. In both instances, the pilots reported. So we're just going to skim over again when we catch something. Man, there's a lot of. Upon review, in both incidents, the pilots reported that they were landing at runway 19, which was not the runway that the American Airlines flight was set to land on Wednesday night before the collision. Both planes were listed as operating under Part 121, a regulatory certificate that generally covers large U.S.-based airlines and regional air carriers. Yeah, we heard that again, people. They got redirected to another runway. I'm getting a pattern here, folks. I see a pattern. of not caring of possible catastrophic incidents and just overlooking them. It seems to me. I'm an investigator, but be well informed. We gonna see what we see. Um, the two helicopters got too close to each other at the time when there's isn't enough staffing to fill all positions in the tower cab. The controller wrote, referring to the cabin of the air control tower. I'm trying to see. Have been skipping here and just going over. More recently, okay, this one we saw the other story. Republic Airways flight 4514 aborted its landing Tuesday night while approaching runway 19 after air traffic control warned about a nearby helicopter, according to audio from liveatc.net. Um, we're just going to see if this is like a news channel or some kind of audio air traffic control. Okay, yeah. Okay. That's all that is, folks. Air traffic control, like a listening channel, I guess, or site. Um, we'll probably go through that as well. It looks like they got air traffic control audio on this site, so maybe we can catch some audio. So there's some good sites we'll dig in later. This ASRS database and this air traffic control audio site. The twin-engine Embraer ERJ 175 began a climbing right turn away from the airport and later landed successfully. Data from FlightAware, a flight tracking website, shows. Now, FlightAware, I'm actually aware of. I know this site. If you're not aware of FlightAware, it's a good site for tracking flights and things of that nature. The plane, which was flying from Connecticut, reached at an altitude of about 1,600 feet during its first descent, while the helicopter was about 300 feet, according to the audio. Now, flight tracking data, so the aircraft didn't get as close as the earlier near misses, the Washington Post first reported the Tuesday incident. This is going to be critical. It's unclear whether any policies were changed or air traffic controllers took any actions in response to the previous near misses. From what I'm reading, it seems like a big sounding no. Like, it doesn't seem like they did anything to it. Like, no new systems, no new technology, no new I don't know. It just don't seem like much was done. Like, yeah, this because the NADA database only covers incidents reported by aviation personnel. It doesn't necessarily cover all near misses and includes raw reports that have not necessarily been confirmed by an investigation. In addition to near misses involving helicopters, the airport has several previously reported near misses between planes while landing or taking off in recent years. So, man, this is if y'all are following along with me, I'm not going to read every single thing. I'm kind of just soaking it up myself right now, just reading over it right now. Just trying to see what I want to speak out, but I'm probably just going to go cut over to this video and yeah, let's see what this let's continue right here. This what happening above Potomac, and then we'll check out the video and then come back and watch the other read the other article and call it a night for this one. Um, This is actually important. Let's see. It is a concert, an orchestra of activity that requires careful communication and cooperation between pilots and Reagan Tower. Bowman told CNN, "Everyone has to be on their game and follow instruction exactly." That yes, that applied to something I was talking about earlier in what they said. We'll get to that after we finish with this. We're gonna do a little cover up, cover over. Whatever, I don't know terminology. Audio from moments before the disaster captured shows that an air traffic controller, and that's by the live ATC that we're just looking at, asked the helicopter pilot if he could see the plane and then directed him to pass behind it. The helicopter pilot responded that he had aircraft in sight. He was on a training mission at the time of the collision. So they're saying it's unusual for flights to be flying above the Potomac near the airport. Um, Between 2017 and 19, there's about an average of 80 helicopters flights each day within 30 miles of DCA, which I mean that's a good distance. That's definitely the safe distance right there, I would assume. So it sounds like it's normal for that behavior to fly, cops to be flying in that area. I mean, it's DC after all. I mean, it's a lot of stuff going on. Like they said, it's pretty busy. The helicopter was flying a defined helicopter path. They're supposed to stay away or at below 200 feet in the area where the collision occurred. So they're saying some of the air traffic controllers may have focused less on the helicopters because of the altitude they're supposed to be flying at, which I saw earlier was about 200 feet, where they're supposed to be flying at in that area where the crash happened. So usually it seems like the helicopters reach out to the controllers and let them know where they're going to be. Okay. And the system is overwhelmed. Looks like they're talking about here. Mm-hmm. So, and they're talking about the system being overwhelmed. So, people, what I gather so far is one of the main things here. Actually, we'll go back here. I probably should have copied it, huh? No, I mean it's some serious stuff, people. It's kind of hard to see exactly what would be what actually who's at fault right now because there's a lot of investigation happening, as we all are super aware. Now, ladies and gentlemen, again, we can go to the bewellinformed.com /infosode 5_0 to check out this infosode to follow along. Right now, we're going to check out this video clip by aviation experts to see what they have to say about this. So let's get into that.
It's very puzzling in that I believe there was one camera that caught the whole thing where it looked like the helicopter flew right into the back of the plane and they both crashed. So that's very confusing. The air traffic controller apparently was taught.
Well, we know now from reading the articles that the air traffic controller had suggested to the helicopter pilot to fly behind or get behind the aircraft. So that would probably, if that's weird, according to the expert, then that would be why he did it. If he was unsure why, I'm sure he probably knows that by now. But yeah.
Talking to the helicopter pilot and said maintain visual separation from the American Airlines jet. And apparently that pilot acknowledged those instructions. So that's why I think this is very perplexing. It's hard to know. Did the helicopter pilot get confused? Was there a medical episode? Military aircraft can do training exercises anytime during the day. They can operate in and out of civilian airports as well. In fact, around the country, we would have major airports that are both joint military and civilian. So they can do that. But my overarching question is, and it's hard to know, what was the helicopter pilot thinking? The American Airlines jet was on final approach to runway 33. They're in the landing configuration, which means they have all their lights on, including landing lights. It's a clear night. How can you not see the plane? We also have technology on board our planes, one of which is an instrument called a traffic collision avoidance system, or a TCAS. And what that does, it shows all the planes that are around us within about a 5 mile or 10 mile radius. and it shows how high above us they are, how high or how far below us they are, so that we're aware. So if one gets close to the plane, you'll hear the TCAS traffic, traffic, right? And so that's the other thing. You know, we aircraft technologies modernized. Uh, that's why there are just so many questions here. It just doesn't make sense. I think we're really going to find out once forensic scientists are able to analyze the cockpit voice recorder and the airplane data recorder. Then we'll really know what's happened. But based on the preliminary materials we have, you know, the conversation with the air traffic controller, apparently there were other airline pilots taxiing to the runway at Reagan, and they said they witnessed the whole thing. I'm sure the FAA and the NTSB are going to want to interview them. So there are a lot of pieces here that need to be put together, and they will. It's just going to take time.
Was this accident preventable? The answer is probably. I can tell you that the airspace in and around Washington, D.C. is the most restricted, regulated, controlled, complex airspace in the country. There are several layers of security rings around Washington, D.C. ever since 9/11. And that accident happened within a couple miles of Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport, which is inside what's called the flight restricted zone. Any aircraft flying in that area is under direct and specific control of air traffic control, including that helicopter and that airliner. So if it's, the answer is yes, it was probably preventable, and that's exactly what the NTSB will uncover in their investigation. The NTSB is going to have.
So you heard it there, folks. He is saying that it was preventable. It seems like it was, based off of what we read so far. We got one more story to check. Looks like it's just going to be pretty much what we just read. So we'll skim over that one pretty quick. Again, we'll be able to check those out. You'll be able to check them out, and you can also follow along as the video is going. But anyways, I am on his side right here when he says that it seems like it was preventable.
Amounts of data to analyze. They're going to recover the aircraft pieces, the cockpit voice recorders, the flight data recorders. They'll have the radar images. They'll have the multiple video angles, I'm sure, from around that part of DC and Northern Virginia. So they're going to have ample evidence. I doubt that they're going to come up with an unknown cause. They're going to know exactly what all the communications were, the speed and altitude of the helicopter, the approach path of the airliner. The military training is, bar none, exquisitely great. It's excellent training that the military pilots receive in all branches of the service. So I would probably encourage listeners not to cast an assessment on 500 or 1,000 hours of training. That training is top-notch, whether it's helicopter or fixed wing or jet or Army or Navy or Air Force.
So, yes, it seems that, yeah, he says it was preventable. It seems like it was preventable. But we're gonna get into this last article to see what we're gonna. Now, this one we're gonna skim over because I do believe, like I was just mentioning, if you heard that particular or this particular article is, and this one will be the day before plane missed. Look, I can't spell right. We'll fix that spelling. Missed another crash, and let's see. This one will be from Just the News, and I don't see where the name of the. Okay, by Misty Severi. Again, this is from Just the News. Another plane heading to Reagan Washington National Airport almost crashed into a helicopter on Tuesday night, the night before an American Airlines flight collided with a military helicopter and plunged into the Potomac River. So yes, we heard the reports of the day before on Tuesday. There was just another close call incident, not as close as this one, which was, but it still was an incident, and makes no sense. You would expect after the incident, you would be at your highest level of awareness for everybody, even those who weren't at work at that time, to be aware, hey, we can't be having screw ups like this. So it's just interesting that it just happened the next day after with the catastrophic uh, outcome. So they're just going over what happened the day before. Yeah, that's it for this, people. It's just talking about the flight before, so same as before. So that's a good story by Misty Severi. So yeah, he's just saying uh, from the day before, Republic Airways flight 4514, again, that's the one we've been mentioning, was forced to abort its first landing attempt at the airport on Tuesday after air traffic control warned that a helicopter was in its vicinity. The Embraer E175 executed a go-around maneuver and safely landed a few minutes later. There's a helicopter over Georgetown, northbound 300 feet, the air traffic controller told the plane, according to audio from liveatc.net. The pilot confirmed the warning and was told to go around the helicopter and try to land again, which it did. The plane landed safely at 8:11 p.m. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, go check out the story, Just the News. We'll have it in the um, Agents of Infosode 5. So, we're back on the Infosode page. So, what do we have? So, again, the first one will be information we gathered. So, I'll be updating this. So, right now, actually. You might be hearing me type, ladies and gentlemen. um, okay, there we go. No, what are you doing? So we have, okay, I don't know what's going on. So what do we got, people? So what we've gathered is that, for one, it does seem like they had, it's very busy at that airport. So the DC, okay, that's why is it so huge? What the heck? Everything's going hectic. That is too dang big. What are you doing? Go down. Oh no, wrong thing. Shoot. So what have we learned, people? We learned that the DC airport is a very busy airport. What the heck? Airport. There have been plenty. So when we do these overviews of what we gather, is very quick and simple. This long story might just be two, 3 sentences long in our particular overview of what we gathered from the story. Just quick and simple, nothing too long and drawn out. Mainly because we got the audio to go over a lot of stuff, and we'll come up with a different format maybe later. But for now, just quick and simple. The DC airport is a very busy airport. There have been there have been a good amount of issues to include close call incidents with helicopters. Even with recent incidents, it seems as if no new change was implemented and or no investigations of serious concerns were it's going really slow when I type. I don't know why. How do you changes were implemented and or investigations of serious concern were happened. It also seems no one has really been held accountable for constant mishaps, like serious mishaps. We're gonna say that constant serious mishaps. It doesn't seem like. So what I gathered out of this, honestly, people, was that it seems like these issues have been happening for a while, and it doesn't seem like anybody really seemed to have taken them seriously enough to really, yeah, I don't know how to say it. Like they don't seem like they really took it serious to try to see what's going on and maybe fix the issue. It doesn't seem like it. So yeah, that's what it seems like. We're gonna add a little more stuff to this, people. Let's see what it looks like real quick. So right now, this is probably the boring part for most of you all. You know, just the video's, I guess, essentially done, but we're just hanging out, having a little fun, I guess you could say. Yeah, let's give it a refresh, shall we? And of course, we'll have updates to this in the future. For now, we'll just keep it like this. We're not going to probably put any suspicions right now or any theories. So we're not going to have theories at the moment. We probably will put some in the future. You can come back and check this out later for any theories I might have. But here's what I got out of it so far. The DC airport is a very busy airport. There have been a good amount of issues to include close call incidents with helicopters. Even with recent incidents, it seems as if no new changes were implemented and or investigations of serious concern happened. It also seems no one has really been held accountable for constant serious mishaps. That's what I got out of it so far, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, we do know that the air traffic controller did notify the helicopter pilot of the issues. We do know that even though they're aware of personnel shortages with the air traffic controllers, they want more traffic in the air to increase, and they still haven't addressed the issue with the personnel. It seems like there's been many reports, yet nobody seems to be taking it seriously. So it seems like there'll be a lot of stuff to uncover. So I believe this is good enough for now. But yeah, you all can see how we are going to work this Agents of Info. There's going to be a lot of cleanup happening, a lot of improvements, but to the platform and system. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for right now for Be Well Informed Agents of Info. This is, let me get that off you guys right now so you can see what's going on. Agents of Info. This is Be Well Informed. Until next time, stay safe out there, ladies and gentlemen.